Welcome to the DraftKings Daily Trot. I'm Jason Gilbo, J Gilbo 11. With me is Russell Clay at Russell J Clay. Taking a look at a 15-game slate here on DraftKings, and one thing I like, I like the pitching prices for a lot of these guys, so I think you can make some moves for a lot of bats here.
Yeah, obviously we got the Bumgarner monster price, but even that, at least it's not 14K. So yeah, definitely great values. No, I'm just kidding. Now there are some good values under 10K today, and I think that's pretty exciting for sort of what we've been dealing with for the last few days.
Yeah, definitely. And jumping into the Phillies Pirates here, Garrett Cole versus Zach Eflin. I talked about my love for Garrett Cole on FanDuel, and it was more kind of just because I'm going to use him so much here on DK at 7,400 as an SP2. I mean, for me, he's going to be chalky. I don't care, but a safe option, big favorite. That was where my love pertained to.
Yeah. Hey, Vegas is in love with him too. 225 favorite for the Pirates, projected for 5 runs, and Phillies are only looking at 3 runs. So, that's what you look for, in a under 8K pitcher. That's pretty much all the factors, and you like Cole against this Phillies team. So, I don't know if he's cash, but that's a really solid price for him at 7,400.
Yeah, he's a cash game guy for me. He's going to be a GPP guy for me. So I can't see myself using Phillies bats. Pirates, on the other hand, I'm not a big fan of those prices. I don't like Marte if he's in the lineup at 5.2. I don't like Polanco at 4.6. McCutchen at 3. I'm starting to kind of feel a little bit worn down with McCutchen and his averageness, even though he's been coming around for the beginning of the season. But I don't hate the price I get 3.8, but I'm not in love with the Pirates.
Yeah, I think that's right around where I'm at as well. Just that game is pretty lukewarm for me, even with the 5-run total for the Pirates. I'm willing to take a tournament jump at Polanco. Price irrelevant. I just think it's a good matchup for him. But beyond that, I'm just not too into that group.
Yeah. I think on a 15-game slate, it's a little less intriguing.
Yeah.
Padres Nationals, Tanner Roark versus Luis Perdomo, and Tanner Roark, kind of takes the Padres out of play for me, even at some of their cheaper price tags. Nationals, Murphy and Harper kind of appropriately priced here, but I do think they're both still viable, as well as a Revere and Worth.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. We like those lefties against righties, and especially against ones that are giving up over 2 home runs per 9. So definitely firing away with that and Revere. So I really like that grouping.
Yeah, I do too. You're looking at Perdomo, struggles, and Wilson Ramos, 3,900. I don't mind that for kind of a slightly paying up for a catcher.
Mm-hmm.
So, moving on next game here, we got the Indians and the Orioles. Indians are very, very expensive. Very, very expensive here on DK. Once again, I don't mind. I find myself probably using Chisenhall for the most part. But outside of that, I don't know. I like the Indians a lot here. They're priced. They're just priced too high for me to really.
What's wrong with 20K for? What's wrong with 20K for 4 guys, dude? What do you got against that, huh?
Yeah, what do you got for Kitness at 5.5? Oh my God, are the Indians playing in course tonight? It just seems like that's. I get the matchup and I get that they're in a really good spot, but as far as the value goes, I'm just not in love with it.
I always love the end of Indians pricing because it's always funny to me. The 7-8 Davis Naquin combo, 48 each. That's paying up right there, folks, for the 7-8 hitter. Yeah, it's tough because you still do like that lineup. I think there's a lot of potential there, but they're more one-offs than anything else at these prices. I could see doing a Lindor Napoli type of deal, but beyond that, I don't think you're getting a full stack in there comfortably.
No, I don't think so either. And Chisenhall, is probably going to be the guy I lean on the most, just price considered, because you want to get some exposure here, and I do think Chisenhall's, for me, is the better points per dollar return coming out of the night.
For sure.
So, As far as the Orioles go, I mean, those guys are relatively cheap outside of Mark Trumbo. And as you mentioned on FanDuel, you kind of wanted to see this lineup first. Um, I do think Machado is a reasonable price. Like at 3.7, very hard to pass up on, even at Chris Davis. Even against Bauer, I mean, this is obviously just GPP territory for me, but it's hard to not like those price tags.
Yeah, and I'm super. So the Davis Machado pricing is attractive. And I think if you do that in a tournament, you might as well go Trumbo as well, because that might be an under like that might be a pretty unique lineup in terms of going in that direction with that lineup. So those three, I kind of like that little grouping there.
Yeah, 3, 4, 5. I mean, I think they're going to be relatively low owned, so that's a nice little mini stack to kind of target for GPPs.
And I think what a lot of people are going to do if they go with that Orioles grouping, they're going to skip over Trumbo because he's so much more expensive. But I think if you do go with him, he adds some nice upside.
Yeah, definitely. I definitely agree with you there. Giants and Yankees here, relatively low total with Masahiro Tanaka and Madison Bumgarner. For me, I like taking shots with some Giants bats here in GPPs because of their pricing. I mean, Brandon Belt at 3.3, I'll take a punch shot there with him if I'm working in some other big names elsewhere. I mean, Posey at 3.6, Crawford. Those are probably the 3, 4, 5 guys I'll do, and I'm not using as a stack. It'll just be more of a one-off type thing. I don't mind that against Tanaka in Yankee Stadium. I mean, nice ballpark factors for them.
Hey, yeah, and Denard Span's under 5K, so that's really nice. I feel like he was only over 5K like that one time, but I won't let that go.
You shouldn't.
Posey at 3.6, I don't mind. Belt, like you mentioned, yeah, I think those are really solid tournament guys. But overall, I think we trust Vegas here and trust our instincts with these starters and probably don't get too much exposure.
No, I mean, the most likely scenario that's probably going to happen is, okay, Giants rate around 3 runs. You get a solo shot from each of them. That's the most likely scenario that's going to happen.
Yeah, agree.
As far as the Yankees go, I mean, I'm not looking to attack anyone against Bumgarner here. Even at some of the depreciated price tags, there's just too many bad bats in lefty matchups for me.
Bad Bats sounds like a Taylor Swift song from the future.
Bad Bats, yeah. Like a Halloween song.
Yeah. Ooh.
I know, Halloween hit. Taylor, give me a call.
You not only set the scene for the song, but also the music video. Interesting.
Yeah.
Nice.
I mean,
I like that.
I get a lot of visions going on. So if she's watching, if she's playing DK tonight, she needs to give me a call. Put it in the comment section. A Halloween album definitely on the way.
I imagine if Taylor Swift was in the DFS, that'd be pretty wild.
I know.
She was like, but she was like really bad and like losing a lot of money. That'd be funny.
I would see it as opposite. Like she literally takes down like multiple GPPs a night. Like,
oh, that'd be no. I don't want her to have everything. She needs to be bad at things.
All right.
That's where I'm at.
Moving on here. We're looking at the Mariners and Blue Jays. Marco Estrada versus James Paxton. For me, I like some of these Mariners price tags. Cano a little bit pricier than I would like, but I do like Seager at 4K. I don't mind Seth Smith as GPP options against Estrada, who has been home run prone at times. And in that ballpark, I think GPPs are worth a look.
Yeah, I think that's fair. In terms of lefties against Estrada, you definitely like that. Overall, though, pretty lukewarm on this Mariners lineup. Probably, I mean, I like that Seager price quite a bit. But overall, I'm probably not getting too much exposure.
Yeah, I mean, it's not one to get crazy about. I mean, projected for under 4 runs. They are just more so. I mean, Seth Smith and Seager here kind of hopeful shots that, trying to find the seats there.
Right.
As far as the Blue Jays go, I mean, this is where the Indians price tags came into play for me is, am I going to choose a Kipnis or am I going to choose a Josh Donaldson against a lefty if I'm paying up over 5K? And the answer for me is going to be Donaldson. And also, I think you got to like Encarnacion here too. And as you mentioned, I mean, Russell Martin, once again, at a decent value if he's hitting cleanup again.
For sure. Yeah, I like those three. Price, throw it out the window. Who cares? You're just looking at, all right, what are Donaldson's chances as multi hits with one homer? I actually think it's pretty high. So I think you like that, and you hedge with Encarnacion. You just play them together. Price regardless. Okay, see you later, 10-7.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing is, I think with the pitching on tonight's slate, I think if you look to pay down to your SP1, use a Cole as an SP2, you can feel relatively safe about paying him for some bets. It's definitely doable in GPPs. And even in, a cash game up, I don't mind, putting in your pitchers, using Donaldson at third base and starting to work from there. I think it could be a good way to go about your base tonight.
Agreed.
Twin Sox here next, Eduardo Rodriguez versus Kyle Gibson. And looking at the Sox first, I mean, still, I do think some of these guys are Pedroia, Bogart's a little bit undervalued here. But obviously, you got everyone else, Betts, Ortiz, Bradley, Shaw. I mean, they're all priced appropriately for a team that is projected for over 6 runs. Once again, I think they kind of rival the Indians of who would I rather use at those price tags, and I still think it is the Sox a little bit.
They're the top stack of the night, though. I don't think it's particularly close, so I'm willing to pay those high prices, kind of like with Donaldson and Encarnacion, but with the entire sort of stack you got going there. So I definitely like that quite a bit.
Yeah, I mean, give me a Sandy Leon 3-1 price tag. I mean, the dude's just continues to mash. I mean, I don't mind him as kind of a punt option at catcher tonight.
Mm-hmm.
I guess you're not feeling the Sandy Leon love.
No, not really. No, but I was just gonna let it go. But yeah, no. I mean, a decent price.
Yeah. As far as the Twins bats go, I mean, I like some of these right-handers. I'm not all about the Dozier price tag at 4.9 or Nunez at 5.1, but I do like Sano 4.1. I don't mind that one. Or maybe a Robbie Grossman at 4.1 either. Definitely Twins are just kind of GPP moves for me tonight, but there is some home run upside there.
Yeah, definitely agree with the home run upside again. I think the prices here are more you're just taking tournament shots because, I mean, Nunez 5.1, Dozier 4.9, but I think there is a lot of upside here and sort of with the prices, and I mean, you're not going to really be using those third base spots on Twins with Donaldson there, but I think they are nice tournament shots for sure.
Yeah, definitely. So, I mean, definitely a piece to look if you want to be a little bit contrarian on a 15-game slate.
Mm-hmm.
Diamondbacks and Reds here, Dan Straley versus Archie Bradley, and a couple different price considerations. Paul Goldschmidt at 4.3. In Great American Ballpark against Straley, I love that price tag for him. That's one of the ones that is a little bit site dependent. I like Goldschmidt more here. Jake Lamb, not so much at 5.4. I'd rather roll with Donaldson. So it would be an extreme pivot. I don't hate that move if you want to be weird, but
we like that FanDuel price quite a bit more for Jake Lamb, huh?
Yeah, it's a little bit reversed here. I didn't mind Goldschmidt on FanDuel, but I like him a lot more here at 4.3.
Yeah, definitely. That's a tough price to stomach for Lamb, but at the same time, he is sort of. I get it. It makes sense that he is priced up in that matchup. So I'm okay with that if you want to make a swerve, but it really is just a pivot. He's not the better play. And then Goldschmidt, yeah, I really like him at that price.
Yeah, as far as the Reds go, I mean, I really like Billy Hamilton and Adam Duvall, both under 4K, in addition to the Votto Bruce. So really the 2 through 5 hitters there for me against Bradley is really intriguing. So I like them as a stack. I think Votto's cash game playable. I think the other 3 are more GPP kind of type guys, but I don't mind Hamilton or Duvall at their prices.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely agree.
Mets and Marlins here, and taking a look at the Marlins offense. The pricing, I mean, Stanton, Ozuna, super cheap. You got Yelich, really expensive. But for me, I mean, right-handers have hit Frey the hardest. I like Ozuna and Stanton at those prices. I think those are really great options tonight.
Yeah, I agree. Especially in terms of power, obviously they both bring that to the table. So Ozuna at 35, I mean, he's just staying down there. They're just keeping him down there. So I don't mind that, and I'll keep doing it. Even though he hasn't really totally blown up over the last week or so. But yeah, I like that matchup for them. I'm not really targeting any Mets tonight. I just don't like that matchup versus Conley.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree with you. And even if we see bad Adam Conley show up, I'll trust my process of looking other directions over the Mets.
Yeah, exactly.
Cubs Brewers next one here. You got Jimmy Nelson versus Jason Hamill, and some of these Brewers bats kind of catch my eye, and it's just really more so Ryan Braun and maybe Scooter Gennett there. 3-3 and 3-6. Those are reasonably cheap options. I mean, Hamill's serviceable. I don't expect a ton of this Milwaukee offense, but when you get a guy like Ryan Braun at 3-6, I think it draws a look.
Yeah, it definitely draws a look. You like that price quite a bit. I think you can manage with that Braun Carter in terms of tournament sort of trying to get a homer there, but at the same time, they are still just tournament plays to me, and deeper ones at that. I mean, Braun's okay. Braun's probably a first tier tournament guy just because of the price, but at the same time, I'm not really totally in on this lineup.
Yeah, I'm not either. And as far as the Cubs go, I feel like for me, the Cubs tonight is just like, if I'm going to play them, I might as well just go all in together. Like, I feel like it's just Cubs stack or bust for me tonight. I mean, I
you
don't
really
mind.
want to get Rizzo in, but he's just so expensive that you might as well just go all the way if you are.
Yeah, I feel like that should just be the case 1 through 5. I mean, you got Hayward and Contreras who are reasonably cheap. Same thing with Zobrist. So it's still an expensive stack, but it balances out a little bit with some of those surrounding pieces outside of Bryant and Rizzo.
Definitely.
So for me, I'm not looking at them as far as one-offs go. I think I like a lot of other options, but stacking-wise, Cubs are certainly in play here at Miller Park.
That they are. That they are.
Looking at the Astros and Angels, Matt Schumacher versus Lance McCullers. And first thing that I noticed here, I mean, I liked Correa quite a bit, and I feel like DraftKings algorithm does too, because they priced him at 4K, or 5K. I don't mind him in GPPs, but this game in general doesn't have a ton of appeal for me.
Schumacher over 10K makes me want to just fade him and expect the Astros to do well. But yeah, I'm in agreement. It's tough for that Altuve Correa grouping to really pay up for that. You don't want to pay 10K for that. Those two tonight. Are you okay with that Springer price? I kind of like that in terms of sort of where I'm at with that lineup. It's got to come from somewhere. They are projected for 4.5 runs.
Yeah, I do like the Springer price tag at 3.7. I think that's really nice value for him. It hasn't been a guy particularly playing well since the break, but I'm completely fine with that. I mean, it's just over a week sample size. Yeah, I mean, at that price tag, he's definitely much more playable for me than over Altuve or Correa, who are both at 5K.
Right.
So, and as far as the Angels goes, I mean, Mike Trout 5,300. I find there's a lot of other better guys to kind of target tonight. And even at the Angels' depreciated price tags, I'm not really a fan of attacking McCullers.
Yeah, I'm not really either. The Cole Calhoun price is kind of intriguing, but at the same time, it's like McCullers has been pretty solid this year, so I don't think you need to push it with that lineup tonight.
Yeah. Tigers White Sox next one here. I like the Tigers more on DK tonight at their price tags. I mean, it's really hard not to like a Cabrera who's kind of mid-price for first baseman. If you wanted to drop down to a Victor Martinez at 3.4, you could. Kinsler's still a little bit overpriced for me, but I do think the Tigers should be one of the top teams scoring tonight.
Yeah, I really like these prices, especially Martinez and Maben. Obviously, Martinez much more expensive on FanDuel, but the problem here is if you play Martinez, it's Cabrera that's out of play. So I think you got to pick your spot there and make your decision. They both kind of fit in, but yeah, I mean, I like this whole lineup. I like 1 through 5 there.
Yeah, definitely. And the White Sox, I mean, they are very cheap. They're all below 3,500. But yeah, I'm a big Fulmer fan. So yeah, no, you said it best. No,
get out of here.
It feels good. It feels good. If it's I woke up this morning. I did the stretch. I was like, you know what? I'm not playing any damn White Sox today. That's for sure.
None.
So
we'll see you later. We are an anti-White Sox pod now. They are the evil empire of DFS.
Yeah, we can skip over them. I mean, before we launch into I feel like we could rant easily about the White Sox.
I don't want to.
Yeah,
It just, you know what they say, when you want to move forward, you don't spend time looking at the past, and the White Sox are in the past, just like a bad relationship.
yeah. So we'll move on to Dodgers and Cardinals here next.
I
Michael
don't want to
Walker
move
versus
on. Okay.
Brandon McCarthy versus Michael Waka. For me, the prices are a little bit off for me. I'm not using Justin Turner at 4.9. Piscotty at 4K is the only real viable option that I see that's worth his price tag that I could kind of throw in.
Yeah, and yeah, meh, meh. That's just a really meh. That's meh, meh. Yeah. Ugh. Get out of here. No, no, done.
Not a
Not
big fan
doing
of
it.
this game. I'm just going to take it as you're not a fan of this game.
No, not a fan.
Okay, good. Rangers
Yeah.
Royals, Yu Darvish versus Danny Duffy, and everyone's remotely cheap here, and this is kind of the same thing for me as far as over on FanDuel. For me, the only guy I really like from this game is Adrian Beltre, and that's about it.
Yeah, you like his splits versus lefties, so and Danny Duffy's been a little inconsistent this year, so I do like that.
Yeah, I mean you got Yu Darvish, you got Duffy. I mean, there's not a ton of other guys. I don't mind Desmond's price tag at 4.3. I think he's a little bit better price here. So maybe a Ryan Rua if you want to get super deep in GPP. So 2 through 4, I don't necessarily hate.
Yeah, definitely don't hate it. At the same time, deep tournament guys. Beltray, not a deep tournament guy, but there is some downside there, obviously.
Yeah, I think he's a guy who is cash game playable for me just because of the value that he brings. So if you are splitting up at other positions, I don't mind using Beltre as a value third base option.
Mm-hmm.
As far as the Royals go, I mean, I'm not really looking to attack Darvish, even though they are very cheap.
Right.
It would be something that could be contrarian, but it's just something that's like, I feel like a Royal
Yeah.
stack would pair up well with maybe some other high price stack, but it doesn't necessarily really pan out or match up position wise.
With Bumgarner and the White Sox.
Oh God. Look at the Braves and Rockies, John Gray versus Julio Teheran, and for me,
So this is what I was talking about on FD, like Chase Diarno, 3,100 in Coors, like that. Like I know it's not a good matchup, but it's like it is Coors, and he is batting second, and like I'm gonna throw him in. I'm gonna throw him in. That's just what I'm gonna do.
so you look at more so at the secondary pieces than you are at a Freddie
Yeah.
Freeman or a
Right.
Markakis.
I mean, I like Freeman, but if I just think if you're looking for pay down options, the front of that lineup is pretty intriguing to me.
I mean, in cores, I'm still not the biggest fan of picking on John Gray, even
Yeah.
at cheaper price tags. I mean, obviously, you are receiving a cores bump. You could get something happening there, so it definitely could pay off. I mean, is this more GPP value than cash game value?
Yes. But Jason, the wind is blowing out 2 miles per hour, so I think that's something you need to take into account there, buddy.
Yeah, I mean that is going to move the ball another inch and a half. So if Adonis Garcia does go the warning track, and maybe he gets one out because that 2 mile per hour bonus.
Yeah, man. That's all I'm saying. Just acknowledge 2 miles per hour is a pretty big deal. It's like a mini tornado out there, you know?
As far as the Rockies go, I'm not in love with the price tags tonight. Everyone, I mean, you got Arenado, Cargo, Story up all over 5K, Blackman 4.7. Obviously, I do think a stack is certainly in play if you're building multiple lamps. It's just kind of a mandatory core stack as usual, but I'm not jumping the gun. I like guys like Bryce Harper. I like paying up for other guys that like Donaldson Ortiz if I am going over 5K.
Yeah, and Terrain's kind of, I mean, 6'5" is really, really cheap for him. I don't think that's necessarily a good idea, but that's kind of like my weird, you could get weird with this pitcher tonight type of guy.
Oh my God. I'm just I don't know if you watch Bob's Burgers, but you just when Bob like rambles and he's just, oh my god, oh my god, like
Yeah.
that's just how I am when you
He's
mention.
he's dancing towards it. Oh, he's gonna fall over the edge. Yep. Oh, he's still going. Yeah, he went. He jumped.
Oh,
All right.
I don't
So
expect him to do
anyway,
well, but I don't expect the bats to
I don't
do
either.
really well for the
Okay.
price.
Well, either way, all I'm saying is, Cargo. It seems like they priced them correctly. Like they priced up Cargo. Arenado's still 5K. Blackman 4.7. So it's like they kind of took a little of your edge there by pricing everyone correctly.
Yeah, where as far as Cargo and FanDuel, I mean 3,500. That makes you really want to play more so than 54 here.
Yeah, exactly.
So, Rays A's last game of the night here, and I think you got to look at this game as far as kind of some decent pivots, some decent value. We talked about this Rays Vegas total that's not very high for a team that ranks top 5 in WOBA against lefties, and they're going to start off with 1 through 5 with all 5 players that hit lefties very well. So against a mediocre one, I mean, I like this Rays stack. I like them as one-offs in cash and GPPs.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think we're looking at that 1 through 5, like you mentioned, and I think all of them have pretty reasonable upside at their price. Asuza isn't quite as high of an upside option, but you're only paying 3.2 for him, so you really like that. And I can't help but like some of these A's prices as well. I don't mind a Danny Valencia here or a Marcus Semien at 31, even though he's batting later in the lineup.
Yeah, I don't either. Those names, as you mentioned, Chris Davis at 3.8, certainly intriguing. Josh Reddick's a little expensive for my taste. But yeah, I do think there is some value here, and you can kind of get some nice pieces to kind of fit into those other stacks for pretty cheap.
Mm-hmm.
So let's wrap things up here with the DK Daily Trot. Be sure to check out dailyfantasycafe.com for all great tools and content.